in the waiting room. I'm gonna open it up, introduce you, and everything, and then
Coop.
ta-da! All right,
All
cool.
right,
Put you down
whatever
there.
works.
What's happening, everybody? It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and as you can tell, welcome to another one-on-one with the supervillain. So, for those who may not have seen the previous editions of this is for the members of my $25 and up tier on Patreon. Now, I know you're like, yo, Jay, that sounds like kind of weird. Well, here's the deal. So people want to show me this type of love, and the best way I know to give back is to give my time. Because a lot of people will say they just want to sit down, pick my brain, just chop it up with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, let's do this. Let's have a full, candid, unfiltered, unedited conversation about whatever you want. We talk shit for about an hour or so, have a lot of fun in the process. You know what I'm saying? The past ones I've done have been fucking amazing. So I'm loving doing this series. And again, as long as they're at this tier, we do them once a month and more. So like, yo, this is gonna be so fun. Today, man, on here, I got a newer member of the squad, and he decided to join in. And we were talking back and forth, setting this up. And he's as geeked as low key. I'm geeked about it. I want to bring in y'all, Mr. Luis Torres. What's happening, bro?
Hey man, what's up? Yeah, no, the whole week I've been just like hyped up, and today I just, oh boy.
And man, I appreciate this, man. Like to have you this pumped up for it made me pumped up for it. Cause like I enjoy doing, like I said, I enjoy doing this shit regardless. Like this shit is fun. It's fun. And so to be able to talk to people, like I said, not have to have the barrier of the shows or the podcast or people thinking, well, is he gonna talk about this? Well, he won't talk about that. Like, yo, whatever. Like it is what it is.
Right, dude. I'm telling you, from a fan perspective and from a creator perspective, this is genius. Because you know how it is on YouTube or in our Twitch or whatever, there is fan interactions, but there's always like a delay, like either a day or two behind, and you can see
right
go down, but it's never almost immediate as well.
This is right. This is instantaneous,
right? And you take away the trolls that exist out there because you take away their strength because they're in front of you. Well, sorta in front of you.
Yeah.
So if they want to talk shit, you can talk shit, but most won't.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, also, I'll give troll. I go back and troll sometimes because I don't care. That's just me. But at the same time, I want to do this to people who actually just have things they want to talk about. Like, I like talking to people. I like getting to know the people who support me. You know what I'm saying? Who rock with me. And dude, like I said, your energy is infectious because it's got real. Like, I'm done with my cup of coffee I had. But I was like, maybe this should have wear off. But your energy has me up, so I'm good, man.
Dude, I'm
so
telling you, I have ADHD, and I drank 1 cup of coffee this morning, and I had a frozen Costco coffee, legit like best things ever. And I just froze in the fridge and left it overnight, and got it today. It's like almost like a coffee ice cream. So imagine having ADHD plus
being souped up on caffeine,
and you getting like anxious and nervous because you're doing an interview. Dude,
right, man, let me tell you something. As soon as we're done with this, and I downloaded everything, I'm gonna drink some pre-workout, take down all my recording shit, and do 2 back-to-back Focus T25 workouts.
Dude, that's the thing too. I worked out like around 12:30 or so because with the world as it is going to shit, a lot of gyms are closing down, and right now in St. Louis, where I'm at, they're still opened, but I don't want to risk it. Like, as much as I love it, I don't want to stop my day-to-day life activities because of the pandemic. I don't want to risk it for my family, for my brother and my his new wife to be. I don't want to ruin their day for them. I want to keep myself healthy. I have ADHD, and I'm, well, let's put it, a bit overweight. If it happens to me, it may or may not end up being good for me. So I don't want to risk it, So
no, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
I've been starting to working out with them. Oh my God. It's just 30 minutes, right? You'll think, I got this. I work out for usually an hour and a half or so. I got this. The first time I was dead on my back, just like laying, Jesus. It's intense. So like, even with all that energy out today, I'm still hyped up and ready to go, man.
Dude, I was going to the gyms once they opened it back up out here in LA. And everyone was like, yo, you gonna go to the gym? I was like, yeah. It was like, why? It was like, why are you gonna take that risk? I was like, first of all, here's why. I know for a fact nobody's gonna want to come, which is the best thing about it. So
you're going in the mornings where there's barely anybody there.
And the gym I was going to, 24-hour fitness, what they did is they set up this thing where you had to use your app and make a reservation. So you could only be in there for an hour anyway. So you make a reservation, you in for an hour. When your hour is done, they go over the loudspeaker and tell everybody, get the fuck out. We close it down for a half hour and clean it up because they re-sanitize everything. So I'm like, I would rather do that, especially me knowing I'm taking my own precautions. Everybody else I see in there is cleaning their own shit because we wanted to be in the gym. And then when you hit it, shut them back down. I was like, I'll fight all you bitches in the ankles. Like, I'll fight all you bitches. Like,
it's dumb how, like, this is probably one of the topics I was going to talk to you about, but it's just dumb. Like, I still don't. You talked about it in many of your shows with Roca and with Winston and, so on and so forth. It's dumb. It's incredibly dumb how people can just do it. It's not hard. It's not difficult. I have asthma, and I work for the medical side, and I wear a mask 24/7. It's not that difficult.
I watch people lose their fucking mind over a piece of cloth.
Dude, when they were doing the protest, the widest of people that I've ever seen protesting out there, and some of the sounds, I was laughing my ass off, saying, I want to go to a restaurant again. I want to go to a bar again. I'm like, are you really that bad of a cook that you can't take your own cooking for about 2 months? Yet here I am cooking Mexican food, Italian food, any type of thing, and I'm good. I don't have to worry about going out, spending extra money for like a plate that won't fill you in later on. Please, I'm good. I don't know.
Man, let me tell you, I watched so many people freak out about the dumbest shit, especially when it comes to the mask. Talking about some people like, I can't breathe. And I said, let me let you in on a secret. If putting a piece of paper or a piece of cloth over your face within 5 seconds makes you not be able to breathe, that's not a respiratory thing. That's your anxiety. You might want to talk to a therapist or something. That's a mental thing. That's nothing with your health.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. And people saying, oh, I can't cut my own lawn. My lawn is not being mowed right now. Like, what the fuck you mean?
Go cut it your goddamn self.
Do you want a good workout? That's a good workout for 30 minutes in the hot baking sun. Are you kidding me?
That shit annoy me. People like, my lawn is not getting manicured and shit like that, and I'm paying them. Technically, you ain't paying nobody. Do the shit yourself. Stop being so fucking.
And what's worse too is a lot of places, Latinos, I can speak from it because I've done it, are the ones cutting it, and then they say, I don't want Latinos working here, or all this immigration crap. Yet, who are the ones that are doing the job that nobody wants to do? I'm like, really?
Dude, all this shit is so dumb because it's so stupid because all of it. I was gonna tweet this the other day, and I still might. I said, I was gonna say, we are the only country in the world that has made a global pandemic political. Like the only country, not now another country on this fucking planet has made a global.
What's worse too is that we're a world power, right? Whatever you want to say, whether we're behind in everybody else now with our economics, our education, whatever, we're still a world power for a reason. But we can do a simple thing as just wearing a fucking mask. Is that so hard?
I think that's the part.
It's not hard.
I think that's what frustrates everybody. I think that's what makes everybody so pissed off because it's not like you're saying, oh, you have to go through all these major, massive steps and changes in your life. All they're saying is one simple. There are now places you can sit there and buy. At first, when it was all happening, you couldn't find this little mask, surgical mask. You can buy. Everybody's making them.
You can make your own that fits your face. It's not uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt your ears behind your thing. Whatever. You can make your own. It's not hard.
And everybody's making this a big like. I keep telling people, I'm like, yep. I see why aliens don't. Whatever I said, this is somebody. Somebody I know got mad. They was like, "How dare you say this?" I was like, "This country deserves whatever the fuck it gets." Yes. Because if we got to this point, the most basic thing we could do to move forward with zero issue, we have had so much. We as a collective, because you can never. They don't look at it as one side or another, the mask versus the anti-mask is literally looked as a collective. We as a collective couldn't just say, all right, so what I gotta do? We just couldn't.
Plus, look, You are a nerd, obviously, from the things in your background, and I'm a nerd too, from obvious reasons in my background as well. Obviously, a lot of those shows have people with masks, and 10 times out of 10, all of them end up being badasses, and they look cool as hell.
Hey man, I swear I've loved the fact people have been pulling out memes of everyone who's ever wore a mask in a character form, or like there. Somebody put out the meme of Kane from the WWE when he won the Royal Rumble. Was like, yo, dude went 53 minutes and eliminated 12 people.
Too at that point, wasn't he? He was like in his 30s or 40s or whatever.
Yeah, wearing a mask for 53 minutes. Yeah, and that mask is thicker than any cloth or piece of paper, but yet people sitting here losing bro. It's so it's nerve wracking.
I started at this point, and I'm like, I'm frustrated, but at the same time, you know what? I'm not. Life is too short for these type of aggravations. You know what I mean? So I started watching videos of dumb people arguing about masks. Have you seen that video on Twitter or whatever going around where there's this lady that has her mask caught up in the middle?
When she goes to the store, when she goes to the store, yeah.
I just losing my shit because it's just funny and dumb. Like, you know,
like because it helps
whatever
me to breathe.
happens to you.
You're like
at this point, I'm figuring they're just waiting for all the dumb people to die, so that
I feel like that too. And somebody said, one of my buddies was like, one of my boys was like, they can't be that, that sinister to plan it. I was like, it seems like it. Like, I understand Darwinism is a thing. We went through that natural selection. But I don't think we would ever fucking expect to go through it again like this. Like,
but you know what though? This might end up because we at the point that we were going before 2020, we were going in a way where idiocracy was really close to happening.
We're here.
No, I know. No, but this 2020 says, you know what? Hold my beer, and it started killing off all the morons, all the people denying about Corona.
Yeah, that's fair.
A hoax. It's not true. You're fine. What's happening? They're getting it. Yes, some of them are not dying, but they're getting it. And whether or not they're getting affected as people who go in a coma or people who just feel like they're fighting off a regular cold or flu, they're getting it. And it's being announced to the public. So, you know what? Whatever.
Dude, the best ones, and I use that term loosely, are the people who they have the documentation, how they were on Facebook and everything. This shit is a hoax. I'm not wearing a mask. They're taking your freedoms. Oh my God, I've been diagnosed with COVID. I feel terrible. And here the dude, like the main one has been a dude's obituary, but he's not the only one. It's been numerous.
Yeah.
And it's like, do y'all not get how stupid like this would be? We wouldn't have this happen if you were just.
Isn't it dumb how in Brazil the president is still denying that Corona is a fake and he's forcing and mandating the people to work, but the cartels are forcing the people to stay inside and home, safe from the pandemic. Cartels who use people as mules for drugs, drug trafficking, human trafficking, all the worst types of things humanity can do to one another. They're the ones saying, you know what? No, stay inside. It's safe. More than their government. More than their government, than the president.
Listen, let me tell you something. If the cartel is like in a public, if the cartel does a press conference, hey, listen, you all need to stay the fucking home. Guess what I'm doing? I'm staying the fucking home.
Yeah.
Who would you listen to? The government or the cartel? Do you really need to ask this question?
If the cartel is saying stay home,
you stay the fuck at home.
Maybe you stay home.
I don't get it, man. I mean,
it's crazy. It feels like you're watching a movie, but you cannot believe it's real, but it's happening in front of you.
No, I say the best on Blurs, like this recent episode of Blurs. It's literally like somebody. It's like somebody keeps trying to go back in time to fix it, but they keep fucking up. Every time they keep trying something, because again, like murder hornets were a thing.
Now the beginning of the year, World War III almost happened,
and then it stopped.
Then sadly, Kobe died, and Kobe's death stopped it. Then the pandemic hit like a mother.
Australia was on fire,
and it's not even a year; it's half a year.
It's again, somebody was trying to stop some shit. And at this point, I want to tell whoever the fuck is trying, stop. Listen, let this shit just play out at this point.
But you know what though? I like as horrible as it is, I think this is a blessing in disguise. One with the if you want to go look at two like the big picture and the small picture, the big picture being all the social issues
Yeah,
are hitting it home harder
because
than
it's forcing people
before.
to look.
Yes, it's forcing people because like you said it many times in your shows. It's stopping entertainment, whether it be sports, movies, TV
Mm-hmm.
shows, whatever, and bringing the focus more to the news, what's going on right now. And granted, the news is trying to control what putting out there, but Twitter is still a thing, and it's
You
gonna.
know, I always tell when people do this whole thing, when people say the mainstream media, and I'm like, first of all, let's just call it media because technically anything that is on a broadcasting network is mainstream.
Mm,
Because when people try to say that, they always try to go CNN, MSNBC, blah, 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 but they won't include Fox. And I'm like, yo, you have to include that in that whole thing of mainstream
and
media
do you want
because that's
to making it political?
right. It's mainstream media is all of those big networks.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot try to make it divisive and political. It's all of those encompass these major networks.
Right.
That's why they're called mainstream media,
And
right?
it's kind of new. It's different nowadays, which I like. Which again, is as much as it sucks, it's a blessing. And also, like in a smaller way, families are connecting more. If they can have to. Like you're building a closer relationship because otherwise you're gonna have a miserable time. So for me, like the way I took it is, you know what, this time to get back with my family, getting building a stronger relationship, than could have happened with where people are working all the time, 24/7. Uh, you know, have a way to leave the house. So it's both good and bad at the same time. You know.
No, I agree. I agree. A lot of people have you, like you said, you a lot of you because when you have people who are forced to be set, I'm a religious dude. I believe in God, and I've always believed that.
I'm Latino, so I have to be religious.
Yeah, it's like it's in your DNA.
Yeah.
I'm black, so I have to be Baptist. It's just what it is. I have to be,
We're
but
causing just like different, skin color.
just skin color, right? But I believe that like we all were forced to
Oh,
sit down
sure.
because we're always go as a society as a whole.
Mhm.
We are always go. We're trying to play catch up on these so much, but at the same time, it's like now sit your ass down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's again, it's good. It's good and bad. And speaking of which, one of the things I want to talk to you about is I don't know if you know the channel Riven X3i, and it's a channel of owned and created is by a black director and actor, stunt actor, and work whatever, and they put out like short videos, 23 minutes or whatever of productions of anime, like their live action anime or scenes from movies or fighting scenes from Street Fighter or whatever you have it. And recently they put out a video of My Hero Academia with one of the lead actors. His name is what's his name? Guy Da Silva, and he's been like a stunt work actor for Black Panther. He's been in Deadpool, Power Rangers, Winter Soldier, a lot of stunt work for Marvel essentially, and same
Mm.
with the director. And they put out an amazing show. Like it's incredible how a small YouTube channel is able to shoot and direct fighting scenes, right? Better than movies or TV shows that cost upwards of 100 million to $100 million just to make, when they're doing it on 15 like $100 and on a weekend.
Oh,
It's
I can tell you why.
incredible
I can
amount.
tell you why. I can tell you why automatically. There's no there's no studio interference.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad though, but it's incredible too because they're putting in their. You can tell they're talented, but also they have passion to just do it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it shows the quality when they know how to shoot it well, where there's no shaky camera, which I hate, in because it takes away a storytelling. Right? It's a fight. If it's done well, it's a storytelling device that are meant.
I wonder what was that started where somebody decided we're gonna go handheld shaky cam to catch this fight. Like somebody believed that that was the best way to catch the realistic element of it. And at some point, it originally it might have worked,
Mm.
but as fighting choreography got more complex, you can't.
And then it's like just cut like 20 cuts just for one punch or a reaction off something. Mm, It's dumb.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that. Like, you see so much, you're just like, this could have been done so much better.
Are you talking about Black, or what you call it, Batgirl in the CW? Because oh my god, that show was
You mean Batwoman? Because Batgirl, the movie, I think might be good.
no, that CW show.
That's Batwoman.
Is it? Whatever.
Yeah, I know. No, because people get confused because there's a Batgirl movie supposed to be happening.
Really? I didn't know that.
Batwoman, yeah.
Ooh.
So Christina Hodson, who's writing The Flash, she wrote Birds of Prey. She's supposed to be writing the script for that, and I think Kathy Yan might be attached to it, the Birds of Prey director somewhere. But yeah, that's supposed to be happening.
I can dig it.
And so, but with Batgirl, my problem was, so here's my issue with Batgirl. Ruby Rose is not a lead actor.
Not an actor. She's not an actor. She was a model. Yeah,
but she's not. Not only is she not an actor, she's not a lead actor.
No.
So, granted, she's off the show now. Whole different ball game. My other issue is I understand, and I said this on the podcast. I say this on shows. I get the whole "don't kill off our gays" thing. I get it. I understand it. I think the only issue, though, where you come into the conflict with that on Batwoman is you can't tell me both people who are bats are mysteriously disappeared, who are cousins who've mysteriously disappeared, and nobody can't put two and two to fucking together.
Or the fact that Bruce Wayne and Batman disappeared at the same time and they haven't been seen together.
In 3 years, y'all ain't seen either one of these motherfuckers, but everybody just like, it's just so weird that Batman didn't show up.
Can you imagine like the first time Gordon puts up the bat signal and nothing happens?
He's like, like he didn't told everybody come to the roof. Gordon told everybody, look, come to the roof. I'm gonna hit the signal. He'll be here in like 20. All right, hold on. So we hit the signal. It's like
Gordon.
So no, he might be caught in traffic. Hold on, he may be in traffic.
It's been 20 minutes.
No, look. Okay, the freeway.
Can he fly? Doesn't he have like a jet?
So look, he might have had an issue with his mama. You know what I'm saying? Bat mama might have needed him at home to make back cornbread, so he couldn't be there.
You sure you know him? I gotta.
You know what? My phone just rang. I gotta take this call. Hello, yeah. Oh, you want me to come down into the station? I'll be down in the station.
Gordon. I also I understand why they didn't go with Batman because of Warner Brothers owning the property and
he is a $10 million property and you cannot put him on TV.
But they still were able to put Superman after a while. Yeah, granted.
It took a while. It took a while for Superman, but because Superman is so the thing with Superman to be on TV, he's less. You don't have. First of all, it's not just the money. There's way less channels they have to go through to authorize Superman. You have to go through the families to authorize Batman's use, and it's easy. Yeah, it's easier to get his use authorization for film than it is for TV, which is why you can see Bruce Wayne, but you will never see Batman.
I prefer if they actually have the way they introduced Batwoman was with Bruce Wayne saying, I can't do it anymore for whatever reason, right? And then still having Bruce Wayne kind of like in Batman Beyond, the TV show, which was
but I think that's the reason they didn't, and I think I agree with you. Like, yo, that's a dope ass way, but I think that's the reason they didn't do it because that technically it's basically Batman Beyond, and they're potentially wanting to do that with a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough, but it's as much as, and this is coming from a dude that loves DC, both the animation studio, the movies, they're killing it with those.
Their animation studio is the best.
Even the movies. I'm one of the people who still believe that Batman vs Superman was a better thing than Civil War. That's just me, and I'm minority because nobody believes that, right?
First of all, let me tell you something. I appreciate this moment, okay? However,
I understand. Compare product to product, one was more successful than the other. I understand.
I ain't even talking about. I'm not even talking about box office. I'm just talking about when you look at the stories.
Look, okay, yes, but both of them are the same though. Take away the costumes and in the movies at least, not the from a history from the comics.
No, we're just going solely off the films.
Both of them have argument just about the same thing: control and who or what is doing it. Granted, Marvel, you were able to understand the reasons why, and they have history. And with the Warner Brothers, it would just say, "Oh, it's Batman. Sure, let's do it in a year. What the hell? Why not?" Instead of building up like that relationship that Batman, that Bruce and Clark have, the trust that they have with one another, they're saying, "You know what? Fuck it. Let's just throw a bunch of money and see what happens." But I still feel I one of the people who does not like Civil War. I believe, like, I personally view it as like worse than Ant-Man, and as much as like Ant-Man, it's not
Well,
that.
okay, so you're saying Civil War. Okay, my brain, I'm sorry. My brain, even though I'm still gonna I can debate on
Oh, that's
that
fine.
either way. My brain automatically thought you said Winter Soldier.
Oh no, Winter Soldier is one of the best for me. Is one of the best Marvel.
Okay, because I was about to say Winter Soldier is one of the best superhero movies
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, for sure. I
It's
love that.
arguably, it's possibly my number one
Mhm,
ever.
mhm. I debated with that one and Endgame. It goes
Well,
back
yeah,
and forth for me.
well, for me with Endgame, you had to have everything else that came before it.
Well, yeah, this the for me, Endgame was a payoff. It's just a perfect
It's
payoff.
a, yeah, it's a giant payoff.
Storytelling that
Yeah,
has
it's an
happened
epic
in
payoff
multiple
of storytelling. But for when it comes to Winter Soldier, I even said this on, I think I was on Gucci Verse or whatever last night. It's literally one of the best
yeah,
espionage thrillers you've
yeah.
ever seen.
And they don't make the superhero a thing. That just a
It is
side.
not a thing.
It's a side effect of the people or the characters being there.
Yep.
It's a straight spy film.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. The fact that their superpowers doesn't mean anything. They don't
My
matter to
issue.
them
So here's
for
my issue with Batman v Superman. Here's my issue.
written,
Huh?
how it was written, how much the production company was like, "Oh, let's change this. Oh, let's
Now
change that."
let me break it down to you. I got it. So here's my number one. A, we do not need to see the origin death for anybody anymore. Ever. And
Yeah.
you did that solely, you literally showed that solely to have one line. Why did you say that name when he says Martha?
Mm-hmm.
You did all that for that. We could have already established that. We know it's Thomas and Martha Wayne. Number one. I understand with number two that you need to see the director cut to understand the little pieces that Luther dropped in.
Mm.
However, I'm always of the belief of this. You got to go off of what was seen in the theaters, what was released, because that is where everybody makes their first decision. The story of Luther being really just heavily
Hipster.
extra for no. First of all, no one ever out of all the scenes I have problems with in this movie, whatever. Like, first of all, Batman's a murderer. Like, he's a
Yeah.
murderer in this movie.
Yep.
Nobody had zero issue with Lex Luthor taking a Jolly Rancher and putting it in a man's mouth slowly. Everybody thought that was a cool idea. He just literally takes it on. And the dude, the senator, keeps it in his mouth.
Just took it.
He just took it.
Where the hell was security on that one?
Whoa. In the script that Zack Snyder helped with, where do you say Lex takes a Jolly Rancher, unwraps it?
No, that was heavily edited. And somehow that got in.
Out of all the scenes you say we don't need, we can reshoot. Lex takes the Jolly Rancher, unwraps it, puts it on his finger, and pushes it in the mouth of the senator, and he says nothing. Nothing.
He just took it. You can tell.
Also, Lois, there is no reason Lois had to be the one to go get that spear.
Yeah.
Again,
I forgot how she got there too.
she just went over. That's the thing. We don't.
That's right. That's right.
The helicopter took her back, but at the same time, let Superman and Wonder Woman fight Doomsday. Let Bruce take his dumb ass back and get the spear. No, you need to have a reason Clark goes to save Lois to make her the damsel in distress when she should be dead By the way, Lois Lane has never ever shown you she has super lung capacity under fucking water. All of a sudden, he can hear a bloop bloop, and then he decides to leave the battle.
I'm not denying anything.
I'm just saying, it's those little things that was like,
problems, but I still like it a bit better than I did than I did Civil War.
well, for me, Civil War. So Civil War to me is literally Avengers 2.5. We're sorry for Age of Ultron. That's literally.
I've gone back to seeing Age of Ultron, and the way now, after it's been passed, I see it as a second act of the Infinity War saga. So the
You mean
first
of the first Avengers?
no, it's weird. So Avengers 1, you got your first act in establishing all the characters, right?
Mhm.
And Civil War, or actually, yeah, in Age of Ultron and Civil War, that's like the second act of everything just going to shit, right? With people being destroyed, like they're shifting. You can see the conflict starting, right?
Mhm.
By the end of Civil War, it's everybody's fractured and separated.
Right.
It took until Act Three of that being Infinity War and Endgame for the third act to finally happen.
I get okay.
So
I got
in
you.
that context, like you understand like the even flow and the storytelling of where the characters are going. Granted, it took a couple years after, and a couple more movies to understand that, but it's like if you view it that way, you see the rise and fall of all these heroes. You see their relationships. You understand it better, and you understand why Infinity War was not a hero story, but it was a
Oh, I
Thanos.
always told everybody from jump. I was like, this is not about the here. This is Thanos' movie.
Oh, and I loved it.
I loved it because we've never had the villains movie.
And you understood where he was coming from. Granted, it's not from the same from the comic books where he is a literally mad titan that just wants to kill everybody to impress death.
Right. And which that was the one thing for me when I heard they were doing, when I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. And I was like, wait, but Thor Ragnarok has death as Hela. So it could work technically that
And they
he
killed
is
her off.
murdering all of these people solely to please her. But I was like, Marvel is not going to go that morbid. And then you see what happens, and you're like, well, in retrospect,
Well, things happened. But it was a fantastic story. It felt good because it was Thanos' story all the way through, and I loved it.
I loved it because it was like you understood why he is the way he is, what makes him think this, what makes him believe he is so right no matter what.
And you can
Even though
see the
everybody
pain.
else is like, no, you shouldn't do this. He's like, no, trust me.
See his
Every
pain of every action that he makes. He understands the consequences, go both good and bad, but he still does it because he knows in the end it is what's good for not himself. Because for him, he's done.
that's,
We're gone.
that's the thing.
Left for him to cheer the girl that he thought of legitimate daughter and a father daughter relationship is dead by his hands. There's nothing,
Mhm.
but yet he does it and he understands the pain, which is fantastic and incredible villain story or a story period. You don't
So
see
let me
that.
do this real quick. Let me do this. So again, for those who are just tuning in, I mean, you might just catch this later, or you might be like, "Yo, they having a conversation just goes all crazy." That's what these one-on-ones are for. Like, I wanted to have people. We just had these conversations and just have fun because, like you said earlier, you eliminate trolls. You eliminate people who don't want to have it, and you allow that. You take away that buffer. You take away that time difference. So, like I said, we can talk about all this and whatever. So, just so you have a better understanding, it's like, well, let's talk about this. It's not up to me. It's whatever they want to talk about, and we here for
The conversation just flows naturally. Also, I have ADHD, so it's bound to happen.
it. No worries.
But no, yeah, again, somehow we got into the topic, but I still believe that Batman vs Superman was a better ish than Civil War by itself. Granted,
Well, I think I have to. I'm gonna have to watch, but I think so. First of all, are you saying this off of theatrical or director's cut?
I want to say director's cut because that was his original intention, but what we got is what we got. So the theater is,
Well, you got to remember too with direct. See, people got to remember this, and I've said this for the longest. There's always a director's cut.
and you must be hating that the Justice League is going to be a 6-part series.
I hate it for everything it's about.
Or
You want to know what? Do you understand why I hate it though?
I understand it, and it's not going to be his original creation. It's going to be completely different because now he has notes of what people liked and what they didn't like. So he's going to change that accordingly, and there's no way it's going to fail. No way. So they're going to make more.
No, it's not.
You don't think so? Because
I
all
already,
the
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna
people
tell you
like.
why. I'll tell you why they're not.
Okay.
They already so based on how it was received at the box office, which is all that Warner Brothers cares about. That's it.
Mm,
Remember, they've switched the regime in Warner Brothers in film twice.
yeah.
They have now established they are going in an entirely new direction. They are not going to try to reverse course because all of a sudden the the Snyder cut got well received one way or another. They're not gonna because they've already said, look, this is what we're doing. Because now, let's say they decide to go back, right? Let's say this, they say, all right, we're gonna bring Snyder on to do this.
Mm-hmm.
The issue you have is now the course you're setting is not for that. One of the biggest issues that people forget, and I've said this numerous times. Warner Brothers never wanted their universe to be super dark, even though DC is darker. Even though DC is darker, Warner Brothers never wanted that. This isn't just at the film level, this is at the Warner Brothers exec level. They never wanted a dark version, which is why they let Man of Steel be what it was, right?
Man of Steel was a fantastic movie, but that's just me.
They let Man of Steel be what it was. Batman v Superman, they were like, okay, but that's when you got the theatrical version.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League, albeit the reason with his daughter committing, her untimely demise,
Right.
and you bring Whedon in to give the version they want. Granted, yes, everything that happened, it doesn't matter what the film was. It gave him the one thing they needed. It was the tone. They wanted the lighter tone. So now you go forward, you look at Wonder Woman, which by all rights is a damn near perfect movie till the third act, and that's Zack Snyder's influence on the third act.
Really?
Yeah, that reason it goes so dark is Snyder, because he's a producer. That's Snyder. It's actually documented. Shazam, lighter, upbeat. Aquaman, brighter now. Birds of Prey, brighter now. So you see what I'm saying? Their direction in which they're going is completely different.
I guess so. I also feel like this coming from an outside perspective, somebody who doesn't have an ear inside the
Mhm.
bubble, as it were. It also feels like it it's good that it's quote unquote darker. I hate that term, or gritty or whatever. But it is what it is. Um, I liked it because it differences from what Marvel is.
No, absolutely. I agree. And I've said this before. I like that it has that. It separates itself. But again,
It's not
as
what they
comic
needed.
book fans, we appreciate that, right? And as people that are comic book fans that love when we see these properties we grew up with and we know and we love, we see them translated in the screen, whether it be small screen or big screen. Yes. But people forget at the end of the day, no
We're the
matter
small,
what we feel, what'd you say?
we're the small population over the bigger one.
And that all it matters at the end of the day, on top of that, is the money it brings in. They don't give a shit. And so that's why everybody's like, oh, well, the studio does this, the studio does that. And it's only because of comic book movies, because we know canon, that we've started to pay attention to studio influence and interference. Because it always happens. There's
Mhm.
never, some people forget that. Like, there's always studio cuts and stuff that they take out. That has never been anything new. It's only because we have these characters that canonically we know everything that goes on with them, where their story should go, where we want them to go to follow up. And when they don't, we're upset because we're like, well, yo, I thought this was going that way. But we forget
But
the studios are like, nah.
but I think though, like it's becoming more and more apparent now is because of how well Marvel has done it with Kevin Feige being that head of studio, being essentially one saying, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe let's cut this out. But at least with Feige, he knows the properties. If not, he has dozens of not like hundreds of people telling him the
Mm-hmm.
storylines, whatever. but they're able to track what they want to do. Granted, they probably didn't know that how their Civil or the Infinity Saga would end, but they kind of have an idea of where they wanted to go. So by the time they had a vision of how to end it, they go like, okay, we can do this and this. They were able to plan ahead and make it so that the story is a cohesive story.
Mhm.
Um, but it was student interference, but not the same type of interference we hear about. Oh, they're taking this out. Oh, we're gonna add extra months of free shoots here. We're taking this scene out. People don't like it too bad. But I think is why it's been more scrutinized nowadays because of how well Marvel and Kevin Feige have done it.
Well, also that's true, but and also you forget one. We forget one important part too. Marvel Studios that we know of now, even though it wasn't officially Marvel Studios, the production company, this started with one movie that went to another movie, that went to another movie, that
Mm-hmm.
went to another movie. Then we found out we were getting a collective.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Warner Brothers, when they decided to do this, unfortunately, they
They
were
rushed
like,
it.
what'd you say?
They rushed it. Like if they had
They were like, we
great
got to play catch up.
actors and writers, they have great. We as fans know that they have great material in their characters, especially with their DC Trinity, with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Great character stories, great characters trying to be human when everybody else sees them as gods. Especially
Mhm.
Batman, who has no reason to be alive after all the shit he's been through,
Not a single reason.
right? But they they just didn't understand what they have, which is as a fan is frustrating. It's just sad, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're still gonna go see the movies that they bring, no matter
And
if
that's
they.
and that you just said it right there. You just said it.
Mhm,
No matter what happens, let's call a spade a spade,
mhm,
good or bad. Every movie, every superhero movie does not have to crack $1 billion, and they know it, and they're fine with it.
mhm,
Everybody, and I think people have this misconception that, oh no, they need to crack 1 billion. No, they don't.
mhm.
As long as they make a profit, that is all that matters. And guess what? Damn near every single superhero movie, except for Birds of Prey, might be the only exception because of what happened.
Yeah, very
Because the
true.
people get it never had a chance to debut overseas.
It was just starting to on February, and then it just went to shit.
Then everything shut down. So
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Oh, Birds of Prey bombed." I'm like, you can't
No, it
technically
did.
say that because it didn't have a chance to do what every other movie's done.
And speaking of which, I saw the movie two times. So I was able to do it, and it was a fantastic movie. Granted,
I
they shouldn't have
loved
called it
it.
a Birds of Prey. They should just call it a Harley Quinn movie. Granted, I understand why, but still, it was a good story. And you saw like the origin of the cartoon version, at least, of Harley Quinn and the Joker, which that was the Batman, the animated series Joker, and not you know what we
I
got.
called him the Grand Theft Auto version of the Joker. I will never respect Jared Leto's Joker as the Joker.
I kind of liked it though. Like, yes, it's weird as but it's a different facet that we haven't seen of the Joker yet, which is just his chaotic side and just does it because he wants to. Granted, Joker is a genius in disguise, but insanity
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insanity.
But yeah, I just think it's like we see all this, and I think Harley Quinn Birds of Prey was a dope movie. Like I said, I get what they Margot Robbie is the star.
Mhm.
She's the star, so you have to, unfortunately, you wanted to call it Birds of Prey, but then you were gonna call it Gotham City Sirens. Then you were like, no, we're gonna still do Gotham City Sirens, but you were like, we need something to sell it. We can't just sell it on Birds of Prey. And then when you look at the title, unless you're a comic book fan, Birds of Prey is not gonna sell you.
Oh, for sure,
Unless
for
you're,
sure.
it's not gonna sell you. So you say Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah. And look, whatever it came out to be, whatever the confusing title and long ass
Oh
title
my
it is,
God, let's not get started on that one.
it's a fantastic story because the action first of all was fantastic. There was no a lot of cutting. All the girls there did their actions, but mostly for themselves, and it came out beautiful. You can tell the story that they were doing in their fight, and you saw the progression. There were a couple scenes where Margot Robbie had to have a stunt actor to do it for her, but still, it was a fantastic story. The storytelling of her, of being just let down by everybody, even the people who she trusted the most. The
Yep.
old man let her
The
down.
old dude who had the Chinese restaurant who she lived above. She and you saw the heart. I think for me with that scene, you saw her heartbreak.
Yes, you saw it in her eyes, just And it's
You saw
that
it's like we've seen the hurt she went through with everybody with the Joker and
I
all that.
say it
That
was
was that
just
heartbreak.
yes, just like the final nail in the coffin. And then the little girl came through, and it's a good film.
I kind of wish they didn't kill Roman Siola and saw Black Mask off so
Oh
quick.
yeah, dude,
But
Ewan McGregor is a joy to watch.
but at the same time, you got to be like, is Ewan McGregor, who's pretty much going to go do this Obi-Wan series, he doesn't have
Mhm.
time. So it's like
Which I
when you look at the
truly
big pictures, we
understand.
keep
Like
saying,
whatever.
you're like, I get it.
But yeah, no, Ewan McGregor is fantastic. I love how like we as comic book nerds know Black Mask is a fuck of a person. We know
Hmm.
how messed up he is. Although technically all Batman's villains are, except for maybe Calendar Man, but whatever. Um, they are you do not. They're the worst of the worst. Why he hasn't killed them yet? Again, out the window. But
Never understood that.
me neither. I just took it as
I
a
get the
regular.
whole Batman has a code. I get that. I get the whole Batman has a code. A, he will not kill. B, well, A, he won't use a gun. B, he won't kill.
I think he
I
used
got
one,
that.
but they went away with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, the Joker would have been dead.
Hmm. Millions of people would have been alive.
The
Millions.
Joker should have been dead. Fuck that. Just I'm going to lock him up. The Joker should have been dead. And
Hmm.
yes, it does make for a compelling story and this tale of this dual sides of the same coin, pretty much what they are.
Yeah,
But
fair enough. But
mm-mm.
I understand again. Like I'm with you. Like I understand why uh, our world, why the storylines are going on because it's making money, and whatever it be what it be. But Jesus, I'm with what's his name, the Red Hood. Just kill this fight. Just to get it done with it. Just, yes,
And I
get
think
it
that's
done
why
with.
they made the Red Hood to
They made the Red
validate
Hood
what
because they like their fans hated that the kid or no, I'm sorry, no, the fans wanted Jason Todd to die. They felt
right.
bad that they killed Jason Todd.
No, I think it was bad the way they killed. I mean,
The
you look to see somebody got the shit beat out of them with a crowbar. You too would be like,
especially when they made
no.
the animated movie of it. Jesus, that was just
Oh, I
brutal.
was like, oh.
It was
So
brutal. Just like, whatever. It be what it be. But it was a fantastic movie. I just hate going off a topic again that they're making a Obi-Wan series.
a
It's
what?
an Obi-Wan series. I understand why like Christian loves it, but for me, it's making the Star Wars universe smaller, and it's
I
a
don't think it
universe that is
is.
fantastic. But we know from point A from and point B at the end of episode 3 and at the start of episode 4, why
Mhm.
it's that it's and because of Clone Wars, which is a fantastic show, what happens in between.
Okay.
But
When I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting Clone Wars is that in between.
right, and we know what happens to them. And yes, it can be comic books, lores, and they can be books about it. But we don't need to see that. We can make other stories out there, like they did beautifully with the Mandalorian. It's expanded the Mandalorian lore and it's creating more of that lore that's already existed there, and then just making it new and making it better.
I think because you can't. I think the reason they're doing Obi-Wan is this.
That's a safe bet.
It's a safe bet. You can't touch. You're done. You're done with the Skywalkers. Period. You're done
Hmm.
with that. What's the safest bet to go to stick to somewhat of the core, but not? And it's
Hmm.
Obi-Wan. But I think the thing is with that, I think there's things we supposedly have not seen and experienced in the Clone Wars that will open up again. I love the fact they're expanding the universe, which they're finally fucking doing. Like, yo, this universe is massive. It is
It's
not just
canon.
about this.
That it's canon. And not like I don't know if you ever read like back in the day like all the comic books and all the books that contradicted one another of like the lore and the history, like millions of books out there or thousands of books of like how the storyline happens after episode 6. Yeah, episode 6 or whatever, Return of the Jedi. It just convoluted and messed up. So I'm happy in a way that where it is today because it's a cohesive unit and they know um, whatever happens, it has to go through a collective saying, okay, story happens from A to B to B to C, to, so on and so forth, is not contradicting one another.
Right.
I understand it's a safe bet, and that's most likely what they're doing it. And Ewan McGregor is a fantastic actor. You can't deny he's an amazing actor. But at the same time, come on, you had a great series in The Mandalorian.
Well, you also got to remember too. You forget one big. We both keep forgetting one big thing. Hollywood as a whole, and this is somebody who works in the film industry, not just covering this shit, who acts and all that. They're afraid to step outside of what they know,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason being, it's one of these things where it's like you're afraid to step outside of what you know, right? Because you've done it and it's worked, but there's always been that one time it didn't. And when you had that one time it didn't work, so now you're like, well, fuck, do we even bother taking these risks anymore? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, if they haven't batted very well since for a while, the only good thing that's come out so far from the Star Wars universe, anyways, for at least the critics and some fans believe, is the Mandalorian and the Clone Wars. Little bit, let's not even get into the movies, which a lot of debate.
Well,
I
I
personally
think the
like them.
problem with the movies or the problems with the movies, this is my biggest issue with the movies. And this is not my opinion. This is from what I've gathered in the collective. The biggest issue people had with the movies, I think people went in with way too many expectations.
You want to talk about fan expectations? You think comic books are bad? This is horrible.
Oh
This
no,
is
no, no, no. I know I've seen it, but that's what I'm saying. I think their expectations
was the
were
worst.
so
Like,
fucking
no
high.
matter what, even if like the movies were fantastic and like
They would have
commercial,
never fully accepted them.
no, never,
Never.
never. But then the other bad thing is it wasn't a cohesive storyline. Like they were changing directors halfway through. A lot of them, the scripts were being written before the movies were ended. There was no through line. They retcon each other like halfway, and it it could have been better. But
Again,
people
it's
say,
so crazy when we talk about all this because it's like you're like it could have been like we all gonna say yo shit could have been better. They could have did this. They could have did that. And now we got to look at it like well fuck it's done now. And granted, I think the beautiful thing is that shit's done. No matter what, it's done. We've already said the Skywalker saga is done.
and you know what I would like to see if they really want to open the world with already established characters is a Finn story, because from the beginning he wasn't going to be just your
No.
he was going to be a force user from the very beginning. That's
And then
how
they
they
pulled
set
away
him
from
up.
it.
Yes, which sucks and is dumb.
I think, and
Um,
I don't think they realize how mad they made fans. And a lot of people will say, I heard a lot of people go, "Oh, well, it wasn't a lot of fans." Yes, a lot of fucking fans because you teased this great fucking thing that was about to happen.
he was the first that popped up. The
Yep.
first says the force is awakening or whatever. Finn immediately pops up. The first character human that you see is Finn. Confused and worrying, you hear like the soundtrack, the classic Star Wars soundtrack popping up in the background, increasing when he rises up. And oh my, again, many like aggravation, but I'm happy with what we got. It could have been better. It could have definitely been better.
I mean, again, I think, but that's the same thing I can say about with like certain with other movies and stuff. And we always say could have been better, could have been better, could have done this, could have. And I mean, it's done now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't harp on it really. I think like it's all we can do is look towards the future, whatever the fuck that may be at this point. You know what I'm saying? If like there's so much shit that people want to do, studios want to do, and it's all dependent upon what you know. What let me rephrase that. These studios can film any fucking where else. That's the crazy part. They can again,
As long as the actors
London.
not in America, as long as their actors or whatever are not in America, because we can't travel anywhere else in the
Well,
world.
actors they can get them out.
Fair enough. Money talks.
Money talks. You can be if you're Disney, if you're Warner Brothers, and you're talking to the government saying, "Yo, this is who we're bringing out. This is our crew. When we bring them out, we're quarantining them because we want to bring in jobs for your people to bring in revenue." You think they ain't gonna let motherfuckers do that, man? You crazy?
Well, first of all, Mickey owns the world. Let's just say that. First of all,
Yeah.
which is cool because it's Mickey. But whatever. It which is I think why they're starting up again filming what is it, Loki and all their TV shows, right?
Well,
They're
most of them
starting.
aren't filming. So some film in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and what they're trying. So Atlanta is supposedly rising, but what they're see when you hear this is my issue I have with the numbers and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll hear of a state and then you'll hear of a city and you just think it's the whole city. Wherever Pinewood Studios is, I'm assuming people that are actors are living close to Pinewood and not going from there. Now, granted, that doesn't talk about the staff and the crews. I understand, but I would be if I'm a betting man. Let's say I'm working as a grip, or I'm working as a best boy or a gaffer or whatever on these Marvel projects. That's steady good work. I'm going to do everything I can in my power to protect myself so I can keep fucking working.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? So it's we'll see. But again, you can go over fucking seas.
Yeah, I think that's some of them are trying to plan to do, which would be a smart thing. But we'll see.
Look, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is almost done, and I think it's Prague. They film overseas in Prague. Again, I was saying this earlier. London, they're about to start shooting the Batman again in September because they do it in London. A lot. You people forget, we see all these other cities and shit, and we think it's here, and it's not. It's not.
Also, they do a lot of things in Canada as well, don't they? For the
And
TV
Canada,
shows.
like, because I know they do all this, the majority of the CW shows are in Canada.
Mhm.
And so what they're doing is they getting all a crew, all a cast, they flying them all up to Vancouver 2 weeks early.
Mhm.
So they have to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks. Once them 2 weeks come, everybody's good. They banging out episodes.
Mhm.
They banging out content for the longest, as much as they can get out for as long as they can get out, because they said they think that when October comes around, when regular flu season comes around, this might come back around again. But just if it doesn't and they don't shut you down, what'd you say?
You haven't even left the first wave yet.
Oh, dog, we've been saying that shit for the longest. Like, y'all keep talking about the second. We still in the
Uh,
first.
we were close of finishing it, but then people be dumb. One of the last things, or I don't know how the time goes or whatever, but one of the
Go
last
ahead.
things I want to talk about is what I found funny is the Madden NFL 21. It might change the name for the Washington Redskins faster than the Washington Redskins will, because the Madden NFL Madden 21 is coming out this August or October, August on 25th. So they're saying that been wanting to change it for years, but lawsuits and everything they couldn't. Now they have an ability and will change it. So come August 25th, or if you have a pre-order and able to play it earlier, the Washington Redskins in the game will be no more. It will be a completely different name, faster
No
than
matter what the team name
no
is,
matter what the team name is. It's gonna be faster than
the
in
actual
real life.
team.
Yes, which is funny as hell.
Oh, that's fucking hysterical. Because that's already like the team itself been getting slapped left and right. Like,
Mhm.
get the thing is, it's only been getting slapped so hard because of the current social situation and social climate we're in, right? We got that. But they've always caught hell. People keep forgetting
Yeah,
that. The Redskins have always caught hell for that name. But like, to hear Madden be like, play
this
with
is
me if
their
you want
excuse.
to.
This is
Play
their
with us.
excuse to change their name, and that's going to happen faster than in real life. You know it because they're gonna hold as like you and Winston was saying on Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was. They're gonna take their sweet ass time.
Oh, they're gonna drag this shit out as long.
Oh,
They're gonna try to drag it out as long as they can till they possibly, if they get a season, they're gonna have another season as the Redskins.
I'm telling you, Washington Thickskins are it's gonna take a long time. Although
Dude,
a lot
that
of
is
things happened when I was watching it, but yeah, but isn't that funny? The EA, no matter what you want to say about that, about the company, they are doing Lord's work,
the Lord's work.
getting that thing faster than real life. Isn't that sad and funny?
I mean, because at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's like it's only just a quick line of code to take
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
It's a quick line of code. And so the way they make the games anyway, the programmers can easily do that.
Mhm.
Or they can have a patch that downloads and changes it anyway. But the fact that they gonna be like, yeah, the Washington
And they're
could
saying
take
that
the field.
they're going to change the audio sound, the way the animation for the fans work. They're going to change everything, like from the sounds, the look, and the logo is going to be changed in the game. So come hell or high water, August 21st, Madden 21st, 21 will have a different name for the Washington team, faster than the real life team will.
Hey man, let me tell you
Ain't
something.
that about a
The
bitch?
only reason this shit is happening anyway, at the end of the day, is money talks.
Mm-hmm.
If let's call it for what it is, if Nike, Amazon, and FedEx wouldn't have said shit, this would have been still an argument that we'd have consistently had.
Oh, for sure.
When when they pulled the merchandise, that was one thing. But when the company who has their brand name on your stadium was like,
Uh-huh.
we will leave, because the problem is if they leave, there will be no other company will put their name on that
Oh, for sure. Especially
because
right
it's a
now.
death sentence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's dumb. It goes back to being people be dumb.
People are hella dumb. Hey, I wanted to ask you something though. So you said you wanted to start your own Twitch stream and everything, and you know you're gonna use this on that. What made you want to do that?
Um, I've always liked it. I always liked being inside of the media circle, like watching news about movies, about games, or whatever. And I took classes or whatever, or in about it, and I just love the background of it. I like the producing side of it. I like editing, the behind the scenes work, but I also like being in front of the camera. I like it and I enjoy it. Yes, I'm very camera shy and I'm very shy, but you get me started. As you can see, I can't shut up, and I just like it. I enjoy it, and I don't, because I've already started it and I don't have a lot of people watching whatever, but I still do it. I enjoy it. Just if I like
Hey
it, I
man,
do it.
tell you something. We all start. Look, we all start with ain't nobody really watching and something. So real talk. Here's a quick story. So my YouTube channel, I've had my channel for the longest,
Hmm.
but it was just for my stand up and my wrestling videos.
Hmm.
That was it.
Which you have to
And
put more
so,
work out there because I was dying laughing all those videos.
oh, thank you, man. And so people would be like, when after I would do shit on like all the networks, they'd be like, yo, you got your own YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah, but ain't shit on there for y'all. Like, ain't shit like what you expected.
Right, right.
So somebody was like, yo, you should start doing it. And I was like, man, first of all, I know these people that have their channels. That shit is a full-time job in itself to monitor it. I'm already trying to do a million other fucking things. I'm okay.
Yep.
Then I started doing a few little reviews and I started doing little news shit. I had to figure out what exactly I was gonna do.
Mhm.
I did different shit, and then I'll do that and I'll be cool. Then I was like, all right, let me start doing these reviews. I was getting small traction here and there. It wasn't until my Dark Phoenix review went viral. I gave Dark Phoenix the business for 17 and a half minutes.
Oh, I can only imagine.
For all of a sudden, the views are going through the roof,
Mhm.
and my subscriber number just went through, and I was like,
Yep.
what the fuck? So I'm sitting there like, fuck, I actually gotta keep putting shit on this channel now. And so I was already doing it, but I was like, when that number jumped, I was like, well, fuck, I gotta really make sure, there's stuff for people to watch. And I have no problem with it now. It's like, especially at this moment with all this going on,
Right, right.
most of my work is me in front of my computer or my laptop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let me just set the camera and the light up and just record whatever I need to record and watch. Like
Right.
I'm gonna do the review for Stargirl once I'm done with this because I gotta edit that to set that to come out. Then I gotta hit Winston like, yo, we gotta do Doom Patrol so we can set that to come out. Like just doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know, like, I watch like the real rejects and people like them
Mhm.
who everything that drops, anything that can be talked about movie or TV wise, they're putting it up something about on their channel. And I'm like, I give Greg and John so much credit, but at some point I'd be like, fuck this camera, fuck this computer. Because, like I said earlier, if I wanted to sit in front of a computer all day, every day,
It's tiring. It's
it's
no.
tiring.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think people get that.
No.
People think,
And the stress you go through, like get it on time on the channel, and then editing work. As much as I love it, it's it kills you mentally. You're done by the time you're editing.
Dude, trying to edit these when like these are easy. These are easy to edit for me. I just add the bumpers in and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But other stuff when I'm doing like the
Oh man, like
reviews and shit
animated
like that.
review is killer because you have so much content that you have to reduce. You have to hit your points and you have to do it well, and then you have to edit out the beginning, the middle, the end. Oh, trust me, I know. Again, I don't have a lot of views, but I'm doing it because I love it, and just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it tires you, but you love it, so you keep doing it. It just that just
But not even just so before it was me doing just all the editing shit. It used to be like it'd be days where I would spend the whole day on Collider or Screen Junkies, and I would come home and I would like talk to I would talk to like one of my homies. They'd be like, "Yo, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Man, I'm fucking tired." They were like, "All you did was talk all day." I said, "Yo, do you understand how much energy I gotta put out into a camera
yeah.
all
Mm-hmm.
day?"
Mm-hmm.
All day, I was like,
And
"Man,
running 24
fuck."
7. Well, like, you have to be smart about what you're saying so that you are able to articulate the points that you want and still be entertaining and still not like if you're going like what you did back in the days of Collider when it was good. You have to do it so that you're not cussing and you're not insulting people, but you're still gonna get your point and you're gonna get mad, but you have to control yourself. It's exhausting, right?
Very much, man.
But
So
in
much.
that respect, but you love it. You gotta do what you
I,
gotta
and
do.
I do. You know what? I used to be like, man, I don't really love this shit. Then I'm like, yo, I gotta love it if I'm consistently doing it. Like when I'm going,
You
like I said, I'm going
cannot
back to Chicago. Huh?
you cannot do something that you don't like and expect it to last long.
Bro,
The people
I,
burn out. That's how like you just stop doing it because
I'm going back to Chicago for a couple weeks.
mm,
And I've already packed one. I got two cameras. One of my cameras is already packed. The other microphone that I have that I normally do when me and Winston do blurs, the other mic is already packed up. Like I was trying to figure out, like, yo, can I pack one of my lights? And I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do all this shit. But I was literally like, yo, what am I gonna need to take
mhm,
just in case I gotta work and do shit? And so I do love it. I have fun, and like if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be doing stuff to the point where I connect with people like you.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because this
It
is
shows.
like this conversation has been so dope.
Thank you. You're not gonna see it now, but like 20 minutes later, I'm gonna be screaming at Joy, just running up and down the room. But like, it shows that you are interested in what you're doing because again, people like me, people in your Patreon, people on your YouTube channel keep showing up back and back again, and it's because of the work that you put out, and it shows that yeah, you know what, you're doing it. So
Man, I appreciate it, man. You're not finna what you're not finna do before this shit's over with. You're not finna get me emotional in this motherfucker. That's what you're not gonna do, okay? I'm not finna be around here in tears and sniffling and shit, okay? I am a thug. I am a thug, and you will respect my thuggery. But look, man,
like
Louise,
you like before you kick me out, you don't stress yourself out. This coming from a person who also suffers from anxiety and depression, or whatever. Dude, you're doing yourself a discredit if you don't believe that you're good enough. That you have the imposter syndrome, which is it's horrible to combat. I've gone through it before too. But you, it shows the people in Patreon. It shows the people on YouTube channel, on Twitter, the ones that are still there and not morons and just get angry at whatever. But it shows that what you do does matter.
and thank you.
Believe that to change the world, you're able to change the world if you're able to give a single person a good day. And you've made my world incredible and excited, and you have changed the world. It just takes one person to do it, and you do that to hundreds of people every day.
I'm a
So that's
goddamn
why.
thug. I'm a fucking thug. I am a fucking thug. I felt it bubbling up right here about to run, and I was like, I am a thug. I'm a goddamn thug. But and I say that because it means so much to hear that. Like it really does to
Hard work is
know
paying off. It just
people, appreciate
mhm,
what you do. And like you said, I never got into any of this expecting to inspire
mhm.
and encourage. And I just wanted to talk about shit that I just love to talk about just because I had the chance. And to know that from what you just said, how it touches people, like you made my day, bro.
Thank you. It means the world to me.
So
Trust me.
before we get out of here, tell the people how they can find you. Tell them your Twitch channel so they can start watching you.
Thank you. You can find me at twitch.tv
T-
forward slash
TV.
yeah, twitch.tv /LT King 93. Just LT King 93.
Make
in my
sure you guys go check him
Instagram,
out.
Twitter, Facebook, whatever.
Go give him some support, man. He is trying to get his numbers up. Please do that. He wants to do that. He wants to build his stuff up, and all you can do, you build things up through community. And I want to utilize my community to help build him up. So please, guys, as you are watching this at the end, make sure you head over to his Twitch channel, his social media. Y'all already know how to reach me. All that shit's below. I ain't even tell y'all all that. Y'all already know what the deal is.
For you, Jay, you can watch it Monday, Tuesday, for his Monday for the sports channel that is better than ESPN. Let's be honest, over in Roka's channel, and on Tuesdays you can watch it on Blurs in the Hood. Yes, two black people talking about nerdy stuff and just culture, whatever the hell you want to talk about.
And just I don't because like we have a.
Sometimes he cries on stream because he's frustrated, but whatever, it's funny moments. He almost killed himself going over the bed. It happens. It happens.
Shit just happens.
If you want to watch him killing himself on stream, watch him on Tuesdays on Blurs in the Hood on his channel. Mr.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Luis, I appreciate you so much, brother. And thank y'all all for checking this out, this new installment of my one-on-one with the supervillain. I got more of these coming for y'all. So just stay tuned and stick with me and keep rocking with your boy. I will holler at y'all later. Take care. I'm out. Bye.